Okay, so this is really kind of cool. That topic that Slater and I were working on here. I worked a good long day today, and it was exhausting, but it was a wonderful day. But I mean, oof, like 12 hours. Anyway, when I finally decided to call it quits, I thought, well, before I turn in, I just wanted to play in Daz Studio a little bit. So I looked at some of this new stuff in here. We got this cool Mealy 3D Speedcraft. And as soon as I kind of got a look at the thing, uh, it was actually as I was installing it in DIM and in the install manager, like, this thing would be really cool for that project. So, in a heartbeat, I mean, it took no time at all. I I came up with this cool concoction. So, what is this guy? So this is actually Genesis 8 Mail, and I just renamed it and saved it to the library in here. That's not it. Um, people, Genesis 8 Mail, clothing, Herschel Hoffmeyer, Dragonhide PS. And so I still haven't made my icon for this yet. I still have to make my icon. And actually, I don't think it's actually complete. You know, I actually just whipped it together. And what's really cool about this thing is the entire torso and head of Dragonhide PCS are completely gone. And let's just take a look over here. Scale. He's at 250%. Okay. And then Speedcraft, I removed just about all of the geometry in the back, but like these parts in here that you're seeing are actually from Speedcraft. And I didn't remove that stuff at all because I thought, well, it might be useful. I might actually want to use that in the kit bash. And I do. I want this to be some type of a gyroscopic power plant that helps with the center of gravity and propulsion and all of that kind of stuff. Now, this is why I never deleted the PCS core. I had to just hide that instead of actually get rid of it because that is where the grenade launcher, antenna, and radar are, and that's from the alpha loadout. And I didn't even play with that stuff yet as far as like aiming it, working with it. I just left it just the way it is for now. I did load the left-hand gun as well, but not at first. That was a decision that came out of animation, and I thought was really, really, really cool. And the color scheme came from the idea that I would be using Rosie to pilot the thing. And so Rosie is in her Astro, and then this is a Cara Patat helmet. And I made a loader for this helmet that comes with hair, but then I also made a morph for my Rosie 8.26 hair. There's actually morphs that'll tuck it into the helmet after it's simmed. You simulate it first, and then you apply these morphs, and it tucks it right into the helmet. And so that's kind of cool. So, you wouldn't use that for something like this, but you definitely use it for like if you're doing a shot inside the cockpit. But when you're just shooting the mech, you just use this conforming hair, which is nice conforming hair. And yeah, it just works. Let's see here. Yeah, Diosa hair. And yeah, so that's cool. And now the funny thing about that, now if we come to Karapatat's store, uh, just about all of these ATVE, that's Adventurers Toolbox Vehicle Edition, and just about all of these things come with this helmet that she's wearing. It just comes along with this stuff, and you barely know that until you get it. Like the promo shots don't really have it in there, but okay, here is the helmet from behind, and then here is the helmet from in front. And then I have a shot of that helmet going through the city streets of Cyberpunk. So that's pretty cool. And now I'm still in perspective view. I want to show you something right back here. That's the leg suit of Dragonhide PCS, and they stop here and here. And so I used Geometry Sculptor with the help of Geometry Editor to get to select loops. And if we look, let's close you down and close this. And we've got legs, leg sleeves. There we go. And if we look at Geometry Sculptor, we turn off my morph. And that's where they attach to Genesis 8 male. And I made this morph that closes that up using Geometry Sculptor. And it was actually very easy to do. Herschel did a really neat job of modeling this stuff because it was really easy to work with. Now I started to do that up on the arms because we have the similar situation here, and the arms stop right here. This isn't part of it. Okay, so what that is, and it happened to work really nice in here, is now, speaking of not showing up in promos, they don't he doesn't DZ Fire doesn't actually advertise that this piece is available in here. But this is a Wasteland car construction kit by DZ Fire. I did say Wasteland, right? So yeah, these power plants, it's so cool. And there's an add-on for this. I didn't get the add-on yet, but this is I've had this for a while. It's really fun to work with, especially with like if you use Linday's four-wheeler and a block template. It's just really cool with this because it's such a go-to kit. Melee 3D has some cool stuff like this too. Anyway, this piece right here, it comes as a separate part within the chassis group in the content library, and that is scaled funkily to fit right in there. And then I wasn't quite sure how, especially with this, because of however, there might have been weight maps or whatever. I didn't look at that because, like I say, I just put this thing together and, and at that point, you work with what you have from there, to optimize it, change things around. And, this is a morph anyway, so I don't have to use it. I could actually just delete the thing. But so this is cool. We've got some room in the back here and it can come below this, but right here is a really good spot. And every great thing has to have a vulnerability, and that's what's going to be here. It's it's got you have to have something, and it has to be here, and that is what generates the power for this crazy guy. All right. Anyway, so if we turn off, one thing I was going to do. Okay, I'm going to create a new group and I'm going to call this cabin chassis. Yeah, cabin chassis. And I'm just going to go, there we go. All right, now I can take that and just lower and then select that group. And then we just open up the align tool and we go align origins, and align origins apply. Get rid of that, deselect that, drop this into there, and then we'll drop all of you guys into there. Okay, that's something that I wanted to do, and I got busy. I didn't come up with the idea to do it until after I animated the thing. All right, but we'll get to that in a second. But now, if I want, I can just shut it off. Okay, and so this is other than Rosie's guns and stuff are still showing. That's Rosie's gun and her cyber tech. Those are still showing for some reason. Oh, I bet I just have to redo that. That's all it is. Okay. And I probably could even use filament for this because, this, yeah, that's even better. All right. So as you can tell, I didn't hide that before I did, but that's all right. That's actually pretty cool how that works. And then see here is that transaxle or the rear axle rather. And it looks funky because it is scaled really crazy. Basically, I just put it into place and started scaling it until I got these discs to do what they're doing right now. And yeah, beautiful. I'm happy with it. And yeah, for a while there, I squished these really small and brought them way into the center. And I thought, well, those things are going to start bending around as the but yeah, so I reset my geometry sculptor. When you have geometry sculptor on and you're working away and you make a bunch of changes and you just want to abort everything that you've done, you just hit this reset button down here and it aborts your whole process. All right. Anyway, so that's the Dragonhide PCS without the whole torso and the head. And yeah, some of it's actually deleted, like the abdomen parts and stuff like that. But then the core itself looks like that. And then I have I have Genesis 8 male completely invisible. Okay, now what was it going to do here? Let's turn him back off and turn the cabin chassis back on. And oh, might as well show you guys the animation, huh? So first of all, I'll show you the animation and then, oh, and a quick shout out to my buddy Tug PSX. Okay, you know how I'm always coming around in here, and then sometimes when I want to work like this, I'm breaking out my timeline. Okay, and I I just I made a toolbar so here I can open up my Animate 2 and that's got her anti-block on it and everything like that. So if I ever want to get that back, then I can just close it. And then here is my timeline. Is that not cool? And yeah, so if I'm not using my timeline, I can just go like that instead of, you know, messing with this. And I love it. It's so cool. All right, so now we're on this camera, and I do want my timeline open because I am going to drag this. Since I can't see my in and out in here with it this small, I can just drag it bigger, which is really easy. But sometimes I can get this right to 30. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Oh, now I keep forgetting to see if I can do something with these things. Oh, not that. Oh, I see. Oops, wrong thing. Not the laser beam. Oops, not that camera. Control Z, this camera. There we go. Uh, I'm not going to save this anyway, so but I'll remember to do that. I rendered it with those in there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I. And you forget about all the little things that you think about. But there we have that. All right, so now I applied a Reeser mocap anti-block. Okay. Wow, now I can have both of them open at the same time. That's really neat. And I can just zoom out on this one. Oh, so you have to be careful because I'm adjusting this timeline here. But there we go. And it's not going to max out beyond. Okay, so this is Rosie's anti-block, and there is the mech, and it's just a pacing thing. And if we come in here, properties, well, this is the timeline. Yeah, I'm going to leave that open. But if we come in here and go hose controls, no, I want to do it in here. Hose control, properties, hose controls. And if I just, that's supposed to be at 30. There we go. If I just drag uh, over this keyframe, I'm going to delete all of my, so it'll go right back to the actual pose that goes on in the animations. This is just a cool example to show you how much change I've done with my custom dials in here, and it happens really fast. Okay, so now I just click this button here to get rid of that keyframe, and you'll see that's that's how it actually should be. And it even got rid of what was on Rosie too, because she's in that group. Yeah, the legs were widened and the arms were changed significantly. Now, in an animation like this, I'm going to quick undo that. And in an animation like this one, I would probably normally be more apt to remove the animation from the arms and do that all by hand just to make it feel a little bit more robotic. But this turned out so kind of cool that I just thought I'd leave it. And so it goes like this. That's the animation. Hmm, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. All right. That's it for today. And if you have any questions, comments, and concerns, just give us a call at 1-800-DAN-BACK. Just kidding. I don't have that phone number. All right. Have a good one. Bye.